Testing one, two, three. All right, we are good to go. 5x5. Welcome back to the Pocket Dimension, everyone. Where tonight, instead of painting, I'm going to be prepping for a paint and take. I'm supposed to run a paint and take this weekend at GoboCon down in Ashland, Kentucky. So if you are in the tri-state area and want to come and paint with me, come on down to GoboCon and we'll paint some figures together. So I'm just going to be spending some time here. I don't know, these bones figures don't clean up super easy, so they're really hard to get any kind of mold line off. I don't generally mess with it. But I do like, but these are on sprues, as you can see. So I'm going to assemble them so that people have something to paint this weekend. So I'm going to grab a bottle of water real quick to hydrate, and we'll get started. Give me just a moment. All right. So let's get out the old super duper glue here. Get out some super glue here. Some cyanoacrylic glue, and we'll be in. Hey Miar, how's it going? DD Minis, thanks for the raid, buddy. Appreciate it. So I'm getting ready for a paint and take for Saturday. So I just have to assemble all these figures. And I just want to say, folks, if you're watching, just to let you know, Thursday I'm working away, so I won't be able to stream on Thursday, and I don't know if I'll stream on Friday. So, Ashland, Kentucky, DD. Ashland, Kentucky. It's called GoboCon. G-O-B-O Con. GoboCon. You can look it up online. Gobocon.com, I believe, is it? So, anyhow, let's get this stuff. See if I can poke this pokey tool through my hand. That'd be great. So gotta clean the nozzle on this thing. So that's not a bad drive. Clear on the other side of the state from you there, DD. It's 140 from the town I grew up in. Or at least where you are is 140. It's supposed to take 2.25 hours to get from where I grew up. But I made it to Louisville one time from where I grew up in an hour and a half. Gabocon is in Australia, right? No, Ashland, Kentucky. Taki VT. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. No, I wasn't speeding at all. Well, I mean, I had reasons for going that fast. I had reasons. Actually, the road was really crowded that day, believe it or not, and I had to keep up with the road. I had to keep up with the road, and it was just I had to go that fast. So this dude looks kind of like a Simon Belmont sort of character. So we'll stick his little arm in there like that. I assume that's how it goes anyhow. Set him off to the side. This lady here with the fur cloak. 'We'll stick that in there. Like to hit 200 followers by June the 1st, I think. I think you can do it. I think you can do it. Folks, if you're not following DD Minis, uh, definitely follow DD Minis. You'll get there. You'll get there. So, just need 26 more. Oh yeah, you'll get there for sure. 2 months. Yeah, you'll get there, DD, no doubt. I have every faith and confidence that you will make it to 200 followers. Hot tub stream. Right? We've all got goals, don't we? All got goals. $3D print a hot tub. I don't know, Miar. I don't think anybody really wants to see that, quite honestly. I don't even want to see that. DD says. Well, how was your stream this week? This today, there, DD. Watch a hot tub get printed. There are some funny ones like the Space Marine hot tub. Was building Grimaldus and his groupies. Oh, cool. Very cool. So I like to do a little bit of a. I like to do a test fit before I stick things together for good. That way I know things are gonna. Watch a hot tub get printed. Oh, let's see. Yeah, saw that one already. Well, let's put them on here. Yeah, just getting these dudes stuck together. Eh? So we got a couple watchers over on Rumble. Hello to Rumble. Hello to YouTube. Of course, hello to right here, home base on Twitch. Sometimes it feels like some of this super glue doesn't like to set up real fast. How has the YouTube payout been? Well, there's 71 followers, but that's about that's about all I can say. It's just it's growing. I think I've got 70. Actually, I got 72 followers over on YouTube now. I think, but as it is, you know how that goes. If you'll get a follow, you get some follows, but you only get 2 or 3 people ever show up. About like it is here on Twitch. Of course, the produced videos always do better. So my Ralpartha video had 300 and some odd views, so that was nice. So I need to do some more of those kinds of things. But it's not really for the payout. I mean, if I was going to do this for money, I'd have quit a long time ago, you know. But I do appreciate subscriptions by all means. And so those of you who have put money into the channel, I appreciate you doing that. And of course, that puts you in the running for the monthly monster drawing if you are a subscriber here on the Twitch. Of course, to get to a place where I can do memberships on YouTube and Rumble, that's kind of a far way to go. But if I had memberships on YouTube and Rumble, they would also be considered for the monthly monster giveaway. So there's that. DD says, see, Mario Miar says, bells and whistles, my friend, bells and whistles. Yeah, bells and whistles. I need to sit down and learn how to do bells and whistles. I'm pretty happy with just doing it kind of a nice stripped down sort of a way things, though I think a lot of people like that. Kind of quiet, you know. There's too much noise in the world. It's like Mr. Rogers said, you know, children's TV at the time was so abrupt and so loud that he wanted to give people a quiet place. So I kind of like that philosophy of giving people a quiet place. Not everything has to be party all the time. So, but DD says he's been really considering dual streaming. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't hurt anything. You know, DD, it definitely doesn't hurt anything. Sometimes it only takes better visuals, right, Miar? Be heading off. All right, DD, have a good night. I'll try to have a good stream. I think I'm having a good stream. Just here I am, just putting together stuff for Saturday. If I can get the little socket to sock in there. Socket to the socket. Yeah, I mean, visuals is one thing. I mean, you're right, Miar. Better visuals wouldn't hurt. Just haven't had time to really get down and work with them. Design things. Design things like emojis and the like. Just haven't really had the time or been able to put forth the effort. I really need a better computer to do a lot of that stuff. I mean, some things are done on the cloud, you know, but there's a lot of things I really need to figure out how they work better to get them to work. Like separating the music out. I'd like to have music, but separating it out from the VOD, you know, and then if it's on YouTube, it's going to stay on, you know. Would I accept some emojis if you made some? Just give some examples or descriptions. I mean, sure, you know. It'd just be a matter of designing them, because I'd probably want to draw them up for you. You know better how to make them than I do. But it's just finding the time to sit down and draw them up, you know. So, But yeah, I mean, I would totally. I mean, if you wanted to draw them, that I'm totally all. Hey, I'm always up. I'm always up for that kind of thing. If somebody wants to help out, I'm not against it. It's just finding the time. As you can probably guess, I'm a busy guy. Just a busy guy. BRB, he says. So I'm just trying to keep my fingers from getting stuck to these things. Just using just extreme power, medium. This one's from Hobby Lobby. Well, there's another company that makes generic bottles of super glue called Bob Smith Industries. And anytime you go to a hobby store and you see like the foil. Do I have one of the Bob Smiths? Yeah, I've got a Bob Smith right here. So this is packaged by Bob Smith Industries. It says it somewhere on here. I think it's down underneath the label. But anytime you see that packaging right there, you know it's Bob Smith Industries. But what happens is they package it and they just put your organization's name on it. So don't get too hung up on brands. They all work about the same. I've tried the Gorilla Glue Super Glue, and it's all right. But it's expensive too, and you don't get much. Now these are PVC. Now I've got a jar of PVC glue out in the other room actually. I wonder what would happen if I actually used real PVC glue with these. That's interesting. That's an idea. Ah. So super glue is not as fast acting tenactin as you'd like to believe it is sometimes. Sometimes if you add a little moisture with your breath, it'll help it speed up just a smidge. So we got kind of a female swords person here. Probably Werner Clock sculpt, but I haven't seen this sculpt in metal, so I don't know. It's not ringing a bell. Oh my goodness, I can't get her to stick together. I cannot get her to hold it together. Let me get it's entirely possible that this bottle is going bad. That's not unheard of. Let's get a little bit of quick set here. Insta set. And we'll let it do its thing. Then it will evaporate. And since it's not thick like the glue is, it will go away and nobody will know the difference. It won't obscure any detail. It's a little shiny where it lands, but there. And we're back to this Simon Belmont looking dude. So let's go ahead and get a little just a little dab, maybe. I need to use the old pokey tool and open that up again. Oh, there we go. Just a bunch of random figures here. So just putting together the figures for the paint and take for this weekend. Nothing too exciting tonight, folks. Just some good old hard work. So here we got some kind of an elven fighter here, looks like. They've got a really fancy shield, some long flowing robes. And a big old sword. Not a ridiculously large sword by any means, but let's see if I can figure out how that's best to go in. I think that goes in like this. Maybe this goes in. Oh, for crying out loud. Yep. I think this super glue is getting old. It does that sometimes. It loses its potency. Also, I didn't put a whole lot in there either, so maybe not so precious with it, my precious. Stick that in there. Get that to fit. If I can get my old butterfingers to unbutterfinger there. Well, I'm not going to get that one down there, that's for sure. Alright. We'll set that off to the side now. Hopefully that sets up just fine. Hopefully. We got some kind of a maniac with a scythe here, looks like. So glue right in that socket. And then we'll get a little of the zip kicker. And let that do its job. So it's not as exciting as painting anything tonight, folks. I know that, but got to do the prep. Got to do the prep tonight because this week is going to be busy. The rest of the week is going to be a little overly busy for me. And I ordered a box from Reaper last week, middle of last week, this time last week. But it didn't seem like it went out until just recently, so I don't know if it'll get here in time. The projected arrival date is the 14th, so if that's the case, then good. We'll have some more figures for paint and takes. But this is, I'm down to my last few here. Down to the last few. Oh, for crying out loud. Let's see. This goes like that. They say a little dab will do you. But hard to say. May have to go a little more heavier with the old super glue here. Gap filling super glue. We'll see how that works, right? We'll use a little zip kicker. Personally, I'm not a big fan of zip kicker, except in the most dire circumstances, because I believe, in my opinion, it actually makes for a weaker bond. So the glue doesn't get to crystallize slowly and have longer crystallization times. So what happens is you have shorter polymer chains that form. So you don't get quite as, I think it makes for a slightly more brittle bond, I guess you'd say. going to wick a little bit of that Instaset away. We got another big beefy night here. Let's see, how does that fit? How does that fit? Fits like that, I think. Looks like it fits just like that. And then we'll just squish it right in there like this. And we'll give it a little drop of the quick cure here. We'll attach his head. And here we go. Go ahead and get a little bit of glue on this socket. Peg that goes in the socket, I should say. The socket is where it goes, right? This is the peg. This is the socket, and that's the peg. Stick it right in there like that. We'll have to wait for a minute while it sets up. I've been holding off on these because they are so labor intensive in getting prepped. So usually a lot of times the figures come single piece figures for the paint and takes, but this batch came, they were on sprues. So I've got to build them. In fact, I don't recall, but I might have gotten these. I might have cast around and gotten these off of eBay or something. I'm not sure. Whatever it boils down to, I've been holding them off just because it's labor intensive to get these little guys together. But it is what it is, right? Let's see. This goes like that. It's going to fit there like that. So. Let's see. Get that in there. thusly. We hope. Hope it'll stay. And we'll put this other one on here. Shield arm right here. Fits like that, it looks like. Fits like that, it looks to be. Clean that up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Clean a little bit, kicker off there. And we got another, looks like a lady here with a cloak and a Corinthian style helmet of some sort. Grecian sort of a helmet. Now this is what I like. I like the idea of old helmets, old style helmets, newer style armor. Kind of interesting. Like you've been looking around in ancient caves where find things near ancient battles. So you never know what you're going to find until you start looking around. So that juxtaposition of a classic, of an something from antiquity and something from a more, let's say, 13th, 14th, 15th century style. That'd be kind of neat. They stick together pretty well, as long as you don't bump them. And there we go. So there's another one. Kind of like the juxtaposition of the fantasy style armor plus the helmet and shield from more of an antiquity sort of a style. I think that's pretty neat. Here's a person. Elf, probably. Looks like. Okay, I see where their other foot is. Okay. So they've got a base. They've got a base to install them on. So that's good. So we'll stick them on this here base just like that. Oop. Oh, goes in nicely. Gonna have to just let it sit for a moment, looks like. While we're letting it dry, we can go and work on another one. We are going to ban and block the bots. Ban and block the bots. Yeah. Well, the thing is you know, banning and blocking bots is good practice for when you have to really ban and block somebody horrible, you know. Then Adepticon is coming up week after next, looks like. So that's exciting. We got a couple of new units to show off for Tech Commander that we're dropping at Adepticon. So that's pretty cool. All right. Hold that glue until it sets up, or use a little bit of zip kicker. I think we'll go with the zip kicker. And we'll stick this head on his shoulders here, where it belongs. Put his head on his shoulders. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. There we go. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. There we go. Just like that. And then this fella, I think we can go ahead and put his arms on. Though it's an elf, so may not. It's an elf. It may not be he, him, right? It could be any. Could be using the completely wrong pronouns here. But we're going to go with a he, him on this fella. As there are no noticeable secondary traits there. All right, we got one and one. One person watching on YouTube and one person watching on the Rumble. And we got 3 people watching over here, 2 people watching over here on the Twitch. And that is all right. Typical Tuesday night. Short program. Run a little short on viewers. So Thursday night I won't be streaming. Like I said, I'll be working late. And then Saturday I will be running a paint and take at GoboCon in Ashland, Kentucky. Let's see. This foot is driving me bonkers because I put glue down and it's not staying down. So let's put some pressure on that foot. Nope. Geometry is not working for me here. Oh well. Alright, well we'll just let that fella set up then with that glue set. So this is interesting. This figure is left-handed. So this looks like a female dwarf barbarian maybe. And she is evidently left-handed because she has her shield in her right hand and her axe in her left. So that's a little bit different. She's a southpaw, looks like. Let that set for a second while I get a swig of water here. A little hydration action. Little hydration. Well, the warmer has weathered up. The weather has warmed up. That's good. Today it was up to around 70 degrees here, so it was quite pleasant. This is going to go here like this. Yeah, like that. You could actually, if you wanted to do a really great job with this figure, you might actually paint it in sub-assemblies. But ain't nobody got time for that. But it just goes right across here like this. Buttock. Fits in, slides in, snaps in. I was hoping it would be more of a pressure fit. But isn't, unfortunately. Yo, here we go. We'll just use a little bit of the old zip kicker there. That's pretty cool. Female dwarf barbarian. Nifty. I like that figure, I think. Another Knigget. Silly English. What is the air velocity of a fully laden swallow? The air velocity of a fully laden swallow. Nobody knows the air velocity of a fully laden swallow? I guess not, huh? Okay, well. I mean, first you have to determine whether it's a European or an African swallow. Sometimes I want to keep the. Sometimes I want to keep some of these to myself, but they're already kind of promised. Not promised to anybody in particular, but they're promised to the event that I want to use them at. So if I took one or two that I liked, what would happen? Well, somebody would be out. There might be somebody that didn't get to paint if I take something of this for myself. So I got my charge port wet. Oh. Well, that's not good. Nothing like a wet charge port to ruin your evening. Did you get it dried out okay, Miar? Are you sitting out on the porch again tonight? Because tonight would be a nice day. I don't know. Oh, I know where you are. Yeah, I remember. I remember where you are. So is it nice weather where you are at? Are you sitting on the porch again tonight, or what? Since I had 5% of battery, I had to get off and try and dry it. Oh, wow. No doubt. Yeah, let's see. How's this lady with her stick here? Hmm. Oh, I got it. I got it. Got to roll it in there. All right, we'll try that. Not tonight. That's something I did with my dog. She died less than half a year ago. Not ready to sit on the porch. Right? Understandable. That's understandable, Miar. Looks like there should be more to this figure. There's a slot down here. There's a slot here where it looks like she's holding her hat. Oh, I see. That stick goes in that slot. I see. Okay. All right. We got enough time to. I think we got enough time to fix this up. Kind of a female iteration of Gandalf looks like. Stick and a sword and a pointy hat. Well, I don't think she has quite as deep a voice as Ian McKellen. I'm looking for someone to go on an adventure. Good morning, Bilbo. Good morning. My, what an awful lot of things you use good morning for. Yeah, so there we go. Alright, I think that'll hold. That'll hold. Good impersonation. Fool of a took. Throw yourself in next time. I've always enjoyed trying to do impersonations. Vocal impersonations, I guess you'd say. I kind of wish that I knew how to get into the voice acting thing, but everything's going as far as like voiceovers and doing narration now, it's kind of weird because everything's going to AI. You would not believe how many channels on YouTube. If you watch a documentary on YouTube, there are certain tells you can always figure out when a voice is AI, and some voices are used quite a bit. There's one that sounds almost like Sir David Attenborough, and yeah. Let's see, that goes like this, I think. So these have keyways on them, so I don't know if you can see on here or not, but you can see how that has that reverse L shape, and then right here on his arm there's also a reverse L shape that looks like it goes in like this. That looks about right, actually. So a thing called Tangia is an AI voice provider that you can have fun with. You type what you want, and whoever talks it out, it's scary. Yeah, yeah. I'm not a fan of the AI voiceover, voice work stuff. It's you can almost always tell when it is, but it's getting harder and harder to tell. There's one that sounded like it was like a dude in his 20s, and I'm listening to it, and I finally figured out. I'm like, that is definitely AI. And I changed it. I'm just, I have an abject distaste for the AI narration stuff. I mean, if you're going to have a channel and do documentaries, I think you should probably read it yourself. If you can't hire somebody, if you can't give them $100 to read your script, 50 or 100, you know, which I get it. But what's really irritating is those channels. Those channels have like 1.5 million subscriptions. I don't believe that they're all organic though. You think it should be illegal, Miar? Yeah, I think so too. I think there should be some way to tell. Like if you click on it, it should be like right on the thumbnail. It says uses AI narration. But I don't believe that. I believe some of those channels are not. They did not get 1.5 million subscriptions organically. They didn't work for it. But see, the advantages of AI, though, one of the advantages is um, translation. You can just whip it into Google Translate, and you know, you don't have to pay localizers. You don't have to pay translators. It's pretty awful, in my opinion. It's just it feels like cheating somehow. So I've got some duplicates in here, which is good. Which is good. So, lady with the antique helmet, the dwarf barbarian, the lady with the scythe, the lady with the short sword and elf shield here, another knight. Cool. So I'm almost done with prep with these figures for prepping. If I can just get them to stay together, not pull them apart here. Maybe I'll just see if I can put a little dab of I want to say quick clot. It's not quick clot. It's zip kicker. Put a little dab of zip kicker here. Clean it off a little bit. All right. So I'm just getting ready for a. If you're just joining us over on the YouTube and Rumble, I am doing some prep work for a paint and take that I'm running on Saturday at a local convention. As it says in the title of the program tonight. So, nothing really fancy, just kind of necessary work to do. Nope. They say a little dab will do you. I think I dabbed a little too much there. So, but I have had some trouble with the super glue sticking tonight. It's either getting old or else I'm being too impatient, you know. That's possible too. That is one of my problems. That's a me problem. As they say. All right. That's good. I got that one. Uh, take a little break for a moment. A little break. A little hydration break here. Have I heard of Black Seas? Yes, Miar, I have heard of Black Seas. In fact, I've here's a Black Seas ship that I'm working on right now. Been working on it for a while. It's actually a commission, so I need to finish that up and send it out. Part of the problem is I need to figure out how to rig it. The Age of Sail battle game, yes. But of course, Miar, I play Sail Power, so Sail Power is my Age of Sail battle game, which it's actually more of an adventure game than a battle game. Because not only can you do battle fiercely against other vessels, but you can also explore the world. It's a very open world. It's not just line them up and knock them down. I like it because it feels three-dimensional, if you will. So nothing against nothing against Black Seas, but I like what Sail Power has to offer a little bit more than I like what Black Seas has. Can you use these ships? Yes, you actually could. Although these ships are the Black Seas ships are one. I think they're 1/600 scale, whereas our Sail Power ships are 1/300 scale. So ours are actually 6 mm scaled. So 1 foot or one millimeter actually equals 1 scale foot for our models. But you could use the Black Sea ships. There's really no reason you couldn't. It would be a little out of scale, as far as certain things, movement wise. But you could make it work. So yeah, you could definitely, if you've got Black Sea ships and you downloaded the PDF of the Sail Power rules, it would absolutely work. No problems there. There are a couple little bits that you'd have to maybe massage, but there's nothing glaringly. There's nothing that would prevent you from using whatever ship models you have. I think you found 1/700. Yeah. So they are 1/700, whereas ours are 1/300 scale. So. So the Sail Power models are 1/300 scale, and the Black Seas are 1/700 scale. So it's a bit smaller. They're considerably smaller. But you could use them with the Sail Power rules. You might just like, instead of, you may even you might take all the measurements in half, if you played at 1/700th scale, you might take the measurements in half instead of full measurements. So with the 6 millimeter scale, we actually use centimeters instead of inches, because we actually used to play with 15 millimeter scale ships, so everything was on inches. But the 6 millimeter is more economical, for one thing. It's easier to transport. Also, if you play at home, you don't have to have quite so big of a table. You can play with the 6 millimeter scale. You can play easily on a card table. Tempted to bid on these 3 third-rate squadrons. Well, I mean, what's the difference between temptation and go ahead and do it? You know, what's the difference there for you, Miar? Are you going to get in trouble if you do it? You know, temptation is only the only temptation only exists if there's a sin to be had. If it's going to adversely affect something else in life, then it's temptation. But if it's free and clear, then it's not temptation, is it? That's up to you. I can't make that decision for you. But I don't know how to put the sails and the rigging on, and that's what's holding me back from finishing those, is putting the sails and rigging on. The guy gave me everything I needed except for the directions on how to do that. So, obsession and want, another project on a backlog, right? Right? It's like my dad used to say. We'd go to Walmart. Well, he'd walk in and say, "Welcome to Walmart, where wants become needs." Welcome to Adepticon, where wants become needs. Right? Yeah, I'm on a pretty strict financial diet for Adepticon this year myself. I think there's a few things I might get, but for the most part, I stocked up pretty good last year on most of the things I wanted. So, work has been slow this year a little bit. It's just now starting to pick up, but it's just picking up 3 weeks before I go on vacation, right? So, that's just kind of how it is. It's kind of funny. Hey, Savage Brewski. How's it going? You're a mite somber tonight. Nothing's eating me. Just quiet, I guess. Just tired. A mite somber. I'm just putting together a bunch of stuff for this paint and take for this weekend. So, I was just lamenting a little bit how work's been a little slow this year, or at the beginning of the year. So Adepticon's going to be fun. Good thing I work there. I'd never go to some of these if I didn't work with a company. So, but I got most of the things I wanted last year. Mostly supplies and the like. So I'm not really looking to really spend any money much there. Maybe a couple of things, but I have a very short list. Each convention I've gone to over the last few years, my shopping list has gotten shorter and shorter. You know, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people, a lot of my favorite my co my favorite coworkers, you know, other streamers and hobbyists, people I've gotten to know a little bit on the platforms between YouTube and um, what you call it, um, Twitch, and the like. So pretty cool, pretty cool. So but yeah, that's about it. So that's in 2 weeks. Week after next. Then of course, like I was saying earlier, this Thursday I won't be streaming. I don't think I'll be shifting it to Friday even. Just because Saturday I've got this paint and take to run. So I need to be in the bed early Friday night. But yeah, yeah, it is a it is quite a thing. This month is a busy month for JP and the conventions. I was supposed to have one earlier this month, but I was not feeling well that weekend. The first weekend of the month I was supposed to have one. Then I've got one in April, and I've got one in May. Paint and takes. And then there's Origins in June, which I'll be going with Sea Dog Game Studios there to that one. So lots and lots and lots of things to keep old JP busy. Keeps me busy, occupied, and off the streets, you know. How you doing tonight, Savage Brewski, if you're still watching? How's everything in your neck of the woods? Today was nice and warm, so that was good. Sort of. Means I'm going to have to start doing yard work again. Days are getting longer and warmer. More things need to be done outside, you know. Oh, it's a little too much on there. Oh, that's a pretty cool looking night. Very cartoony, but pretty cool. Be a nice one for somebody to paint up. It's nice and big and chunky. That's what I like about this particular figure. So these knights here, like these guys here, they're kind of big and chunky. They're easy for people to paint up, you know. Big and chunky right there. Floppy sword. Nobody likes a floppy sword. Big chunky. So that'll be nice for somebody to, you know, new painters to paint up, I think. Come on, really? So that's pretty cool. So are we down to our last couple of figures to assemble for tonight? I think we're down to the last couple of figures to assemble. Cool. All right. Here we go. Last couple of, down to the last couple here. Do 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 do. If you're watching over on YouTube, you should be following Savage Brewski. Check out his Instagram page, by the way. He's been building some terrain lately. It's looking pretty good. Pretty neat stuff. I think it's for one-page rules, isn't it, Brewski, if you're out there still? He's got a lava board. And he's got some fuel tanks he's going to put on that lava board, I think. He was working on some fuel tanks on Sunday. He was on, if you're watching on Rumble, you can look at Patty's Parlor Games over on Rumble. He was on the Sunday afternoon show with Pat and his rogues gallery over there. Yep, OPR, Grimdark Future. I'll get the build video up when it's done, but that's a massive set of clips right now. Yeah. So check out his clips, folks. Savage Brewski on YouTube. Check him out. Then, of course, if you want to support the channel and you don't want to give your money to Jeff Bezos, you can get a tub of Dubby energy drink mix at dubby.gg using my code ROCKETFUEL, ROKKITFUEL. That's ROKKITFUEL, Rocket Fuel, at dubby.gg for 10% off of your order. And I get a little something on the back end of that, so it helps support the channel. If you don't want to subscribe over here on Twitch, if you're on another platform and you want to help out, neither Rumble nor YouTube do I have monetization yet. Got a long way to go for that on both of those. So if you like energy drinks, it's about $1.25 a serving, as opposed to $4.25, $4.50 a serving if you buy a can at the grocery store. So it's cheap, sugar-free, and it doesn't, at least for me, it doesn't give me the crash when I come down off the energy drink buzz. So check it out. All right, there's this and there's that. All right, one more to go. One more to go here. One of my favorites. I always like this figure. It's got the cloak, which is really cool. It's got the old style, sort of a Greek shield. Hoplite, maybe. Hoplite shield, maybe, if you want to call it that. Spartan shield, Spartan helmet, what have you. So we're going to just stick this together. I'm going to hold it together. Got to hold it together. Let the super glue do the super thing, right? And we'll put the helmet on. Hey, put your helmet on. Ta-da. And then we'll put a little glue right here on the wrist. Just like that. And stick that on there like that. I think I'll add just use a little zip kick there. Because I think the helmet, I think the head and the cloak will stay on pretty well, but if I just leave that wrist there, it's such a small point of contact. So all right, so we've got, let's count up how many figures we've got for the paint and take on Saturday. I ordered another 75. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So that'll give me, if those other ones that I just ordered from Reaper come in, how many did I say that I had to do? Well, I have got this one this month. I've got one next month. I've got a 2-day convention in May. And then I usually pick up again in October, maybe September. But usually October and November I'll have a couple. So probably another 3 after May. So I've got three more paint and takes coming up. And yeah. So hopefully I can talk to somebody at Adepticon and get a pipeline going, because I'm doing this out of my own pocket. I did get some paints for free from Army Painter year before last, so that was good. But last year I was running on my own. I always feel bad pestering people, But closed mouth don't get fed, right? So if you open your mouth and ask, what's the worst they're going to do is say no? I mean, but there's a few companies that make softer plastic figures that the paint really likes to stick to. So you don't have to spend time priming them. So we'll see how that goes. And I've got some figures left over from Ralpartha Legacy as well. So I've got some of those. I can probably lean on Jacob and get some more. He likes to support those efforts. But I don't like to give the metal figures out to the kids. I mean, they're pewter, they're tin. They're not lead. They don't have any lead in them or on them. And the masters aren't lead. So when the new molds are made, there's no lead on the molds. So, pretty well non-toxic for the most part. But the plastic figures, are a lot more kid-friendly. And they transport better than the metal ones. So, anyhow, metal minis. Today, new gamers will never know the joy we experience. No, they won't. I like metal minis, actually, Savage. I really do. Especially when they're single castings and I don't have to put anything together. All you gotta do is clean up the mold lines, prime them, and you're good to go. Putting figures together and scraping 100 different mold lines from 100 different angles from 50 different pieces, it really gets a little old. But I really did like metal figures, quite honestly, Savage. So, especially because they were made from masters that had been hand sculpted. Nowadays, everything is done in CAD. So like all these, there's a couple of these that were metal figures before, but some of these are actually designed in CAD, and you can actually tell. There's one of these. I can actually tell you. I know that it was only done in the computer. I believe it's this one. I can tell you that. I can tell you that because of the... Which one is it? Let's see. It's one of these bigger knights, I think. Here it is. It'd be this guy right here. So you see this chainmail here? This chainmail was designed in the computer. This whole thing was designed in the computer, and you can tell because there's a certain plastic quality to it. I mean, aside from it being plastic, but there's no human hand actually in the design of this. But you can tell the way these chainmail links are done. That's actually computerized. That's actually a computerized tool that they just put a blob in there and hit the button, and it says, "Okay, I want that pattern there," and it does it all in the computer. And you know, I will give these guys credit. Whoever's doing it, they're actually able to put quite a bit of character in there. Hey there, Quandam. Good to see you. You got here just in time for me to raid out. I'm just finishing up. I was assembling a lot of these for the paint and take I'm running this weekend. They're Quandam. So, yep, itty bitty plastic soldiers. So fashionably late. Absolutely. Absolutely. At least you are here, though. That's the important thing. I'm glad you made the effort to stop in. I appreciate you being here, regardless, whether you get here 5 minutes early or 5 minutes late or 5 minutes to go on the show. I'm glad you're here. But yeah, the kids today, these kids today don't know the joy of metal figures. But Ral Parth Legacy still produces in metal. So check them out. All right. Okie dokie. Well, let's see. It is that time. So we are going to say good night to Rumble and YouTube. Like I always say, folks, no matter how bad today was, the sun is coming up tomorrow and the world is a better place with you in it.